You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Giuliana and Bill After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Giuliana and Bill After Show.
What's up, guys? So happy to be here. Bing is for doing right now. We are doing our very last live recap of Giuliana and Bill here at AfterBuzz TV. I'm Giselle Ugarte, always live tweeting at Giselle Ugarte, and happy to see you. My co-host over here.
Well, hello, everyone. It's Tara Johnson, and I cannot believe that the season is over.
I know.
That's crazy.
But you know what? We're starting it. Or we're ending it how we started it.
Well, that's
just the two of us.
That's
Obviously,
true.
we miss Sarah, but she could not make it tonight. She had another gig going on.
Right.
But Sarah, we love you. And without further ado, I mean, I can really can't believe it. There have been so many great moments this season, and you know, we love G and B. We're so happy for them, and seeing little Duke grow. He was up to 14 pounds this episode.
Isn't that crazy?
2 weeks ago, he was only 7.
That's
I mean, not in real life, but for TV's sake.
Right.
Before you know it, he's gonna be running around.
Graduating.
Gosh, how old are we gonna be?
Let's not even do that now. I don't want to talk about that.
I thought it was funny how last week the episode was called Daddy Time, and this episode opened up with the most daddy time. You see Bill behind the carriage, trying to tell Giuliana, no, he likes it this way. He likes it this way. She's like, okay.
I love Bill Rancic. Well, okay. I love Bill Rancic, but let me also include something else into that sentence. I love him when he's with little baby Duke.
And with his shirt off.
That too. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
And if I could get him like that other picture with the kid and the shirt off, I mean, it's Christmas time. Give a gift.
I know, we're pretty sparkly today in the studio for Christmas time.
We are.
And actually, before I forget, if you are watching the live stream, awesome. If you're listening to the podcast, great. I know there are a lot of you that wait for the YouTube channel to show up, or you want to see us again because you love us so much. YouTube is down this week. It should be up, hopefully, by the end of the weekend. Oh, it's back?
YouTube is back up.
Oh, just kidding. Great. All right, well, then forget anything I said. It's so good to see you in there. What do you think of Bill when he's getting farted and poo-pooed on? Because there was a major farty poo-poo at the beginning of this episode. Initially, okay, so I watched the episode twice. The first time I was kind of watching it passively. I was on my computer doing some errands. I thought the farting was the baby like making mouth noises.
Right. No, they were making noises with the other end.
Yes.
I thought to myself, poor Duke, when he gets older, there's going to be that friend in college, in high school, someplace that's going to play that tape for him, and he's going to be so embarrassed because I was embarrassed for him.
They should have just called the name of this episode the embarrassed Duke show Duke in 7 years, because there were quite a few embarrassing baby moments in this one that we loved. But I also really liked how Giuliana was like, Duke, if you love mommy more, fart in the next 10 seconds.
How competitive are these two people? I love it. I mean, it's all in great fun, but anytime they get a chance to bet on something, gamble on something, okay, I bet I can beat you on something, they take it. I love it.
I do. As much as she's a princess, she's an athlete.
Yeah, keep it going. Is that,
gotta love G for that.
Keep the romance go. I don't know. Keep her mom joke, however, whatever you want to do.
Some more family moments. We also saw the business family, RPM.
Yes.
I knew that RPM Italian was doing very well. I also heard that RPM Steak was on its way. I didn't know that there was an RPM Vegas in the works.
I think we might have mentioned it the week that you had the injury, and it was Sarah and I. But they, it's the next thing coming on the RPM. We said the RPM was taking over the world.
Probably.
going, coast to coast if they can possibly get it. But yeah, RPM Vegas, I think that would be a fantastic idea. I'd check it out.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
It's harder than it seems, though, because there are a lot of celebrities with high followings that try going into the restaurant business. For example, I love my girl Eva Longoria's Beso restaurant, and she had one in Vegas as well. Like, Dunzo.
Really?
Yeah. The one in Vegas isn't there anymore. The one in LA is always empty whenever I go.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think, the restaurant business is a pretty hard gig, I would have to say. So I'm not surprised that RPM is doing so well. And no offense, Rand 6, and I hope you guys continue much success. But let's take a look in 3 years, 5 years, because, right now, the first year or so, it could be a lot of tourists and that type of thing. You have to do other things to keep it going.
Right.
So strike while the iron is hot to open RPM Italian, RPM Steak. They're like 2 or 3 blocks away from each other. But you're right, Vegas is a different gig, really a different vibe. I don't see, if someone's thinking of Vegas, they think of the Rand 6.
They do go there quite a bit.
That's true.
But, the difference, too, I think, is the fact that, yes, they have celebrity status, but at the end of the day, Bill is a businessman.
True.
And they have some really great investors. They know how to, research projections, and hopefully, everything will go well. Do you think if they were to move to Chicago, Bill would still do hosting, or would he focus on his investments?
I see him as a businessman from day one. I think the hosting I also think he's a great person. He's smart, so he takes opportunities. But I think he takes those opportunities in order to get the next connection for the business thing. So I think as soon as he can kind of phase out of being in front of the camera and being behind the desk and running things, running the Rancic enterprise conglomerate that's growing, I think that's where he's most happy.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I think he's a better speaker, motivational speaker, than he is a host.
Absolutely.
So much. And you'd think that they're so similar.
So different.
But so different. There's something about when the teleprompter goes away and the cameras are off. He is so captivating whenever he's even giving a toast.
It's true. He seems much more sincere and comfortable when he's sitting on a chair or standing on the stage, and you almost feel as if he's talking to you one-on-one.
Oh, yeah.
And when he's hosting, it seems just a little stiff. And it happens to everybody. It happens to me, too. I totally understand it. But I would watch him. I would go to any motivational speech he was doing completely. Yeah. I was like trying to not stalk your website, just trying to get information.
Pretty much doing that.
As to when you were, speaking close to LA.
I mean, yeah. I also love the familia that we saw in this episode. We got to see more of Mama Rancic, more of Mama DePandy.
Yeah.
They left little Duke over at Mama Rancic's house for the day.
Yes.
What did you think about Mama DePandy saying that being a grandparent makes her feel younger?
I think everything makes the DePandys feel younger. I think they're the most vibrant, lovely couple ever. Just a lot of fun. I love when she said, when Eduardo said, once I retire, we can have a baby. And she was like, yes, sure, we can have a baby. That's the news and gossip.
Yeah.
The DePandys are having a baby.
Right? They'll just have Delphine deliver the baby.
It's true. And of course, Phyllis with the Birkin bag will be the baby nurse. Let's just keep it going.
Like, Mama DePandy is the epitome of Mom Joe.
Absolutely.
She is. There's just something about it.
I see a book coming in her future. She already has the restaurant.
Would it be in English or Italian?
Ooh.
Both?
100% both.
100 different languages?
100 different, but at least I think it would definitely be in Italian first.
Okay.
And then translate it to English.
But is she as big in Italy as she is here in America?
No, that's a really good question. I'm not really sure. I don't know.
I mean, is Giuliana big in Italy? I don't know.
I don't know. She's huge. Well, I know. Here and in the UK, but I don't know. That's a great question, too.
What did you think about when they were pulling furniture out of Mama Rancic's house? Like, do you think Bill's a hoarder?
Absolutely not. I think he's very nostalgic. Just like, the Walter Payton football is different.
But isn't that part of hoarding? Not the Walter Payton football,
right.
But like nostalgia and like holding on to things.
I don't know, but I do watch Hoarders also. But all those people have like some kind of trigger or something that's happened, some kind of death or, something that's happened in their lives or whatever. I think he just, carries a little more stuff around than possible. And then let's be honest, everyone keeps some junk in their parents' home.
Yeah.
I haven't lived at home and I can't tell you how long, but if we call my mom right now, she would say, yes, the back room is full of Tara's junk.
Yeah.
That's been here since, whenever. That's what we all do.
I agree. I mean, recently I've actually come to terms with the fact that my bedroom is just a large closet with a bed in it. because I don't want to give anything away.
I mean, is that a little bit of a hoarding problem there?
No, I just like clothes and I take good care of my clothes. So if they still fit, then why would I want to give them away?
That's true.
Everything always comes back in style.
That is 100%
I had a bunch of pumps that were neon that I didn't get rid of from maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
I got them for a costume party, and this summer neon was all
That's 100%
back in,
true.
so I didn't have to go buy new shoes.
So if anyone needs any type of costume wear or anything, hit Giselle up first.
Well, no, regular clothes too.
Regular clothes too.
Yeah. Shop Giselle for sure.
Hit her up.
Okay, let's get back to Giuliana and Bill. Speaking of separation anxiety, Giuliana and Bill leave Little Duke for the very first time at the same time. And I think this is going to be happening a lot.
The leaving the baby a lot? True. I think so. I mean, it's inevitable with their schedules, right? Like, well, the way the show made it seems, they landed in LA, and the next day they were both in front of the camera doing their separate things or whatever. That's the way it seemed. So yeah, it's going to be difficult.
Florida and LA.
It's going to be a difficult thing for them to navigate the schedule, whereas their plan was to never be apart.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, luckily, they were only gone for a day.
True.
So Grandma Rancic was able to take care of the little one. What did you think of Giuliana freaking out about Mama Rancic?
Poor Gail. I have to say, I understand completely being nervous. I'm not a mother, so let me just put that disclaimer out there. But I thought it was a bit much.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Way too much.
I thought it was way too much. And I know, later on she tried to make it seem, try to make a light of it and go, oh, I was just ribbing Gail a little bit. But it really seemed like she was almost interrogating her.
Yeah.
And Bill was like, my mom is a master's.
Yeah. If anything, like, what older woman answers her phone all the time?
Oh, yeah, the phone thing was a bit much to me, too.
It's like, what grandma, great-grandma answers their cell phone all the time? I mean, my mom can barely text.
So my mom doesn't text. But even still with that, like, a newborn takes so much time to take care of that it makes perfect sense to me that she didn't answer the phone the 15 times that you called her in a row.
Yeah.
Like, that was a bit much.
It's like, well, she's holding your newborn. Do you want her to reach down and get the cell phone that she probably needs like 3 hands to turn on?
Right.
Come on.
Or do you want to continue to feed your son what she say, 6 ounces or whatever? Is a healthy growing baby boy. He needs all the attention as possible. Yeah, gee, ease up a little bit.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the actual speech itself, all about unplanned plans. Tugged in the heartstrings, as always. Bill Rancic always knows exactly what to say.
He's amazeballs. That's my favorite one. Amazefest, not so much. Amazeballs is my favorite.
Okay. Something about the balls. Just
love it.
Balls. Did you see Giuliana on E! News trying to teach Terrence J how to say amazeballs?
No.
She's like, more emphasis on the balls.
Oh, well, then now he's not going to do that, right? No man's going to like this one. But I mean, I have to say, Bill was great. The one thing I did notice about this speech, this was the first time this entire season when Giuliana mentioned receiving her breast cancer diagnosis that she didn't tear up.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Maybe she's made a turn, now that the baby Duke is around and it just doesn't have the same place. Of course, has the same emotion, but she's able to talk about it a little more. I was like, oh my gosh, she didn't cry.
Yeah.
She didn't tear up. She was able to say it and keep going. But I love the way he just kind of summed up everything with the unplanned plan.
That was the best moment ever.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that they were able to use that, too, because baby Duke was born.
True.
He's a healthy baby, and it's because of this pregnancy. It's because of, wanting to have the baby, even just thinking about having a baby. Giuliana was able to detect the cancer, find it early, get it removed. She was able to survive herself, save so many other lives by telling women all about her story, and then now she's finally a mom. And that's, they credit this baby, and they're able to figure out, okay, this is why.
True.
Seasons 1 through 6, or seasons 1 through 5.
Right. He's a miracle baby in so many different ways.
And he's America's baby.
Is that true? He's the miracle.
He's the red carpet baby.
That's true, too. I wonder how many 2.5-month little kids have 3-piece cashmere suits from Rome.
Well, But remember, though, the grandparents are from Italy.
That's true.
So, they brought it over. And also, I had the feeling that because it was, a cashmere suit from Rome, it probably wasn't necessarily as expensive.
Oh, as I was thinking?
Yeah.
But I bet it fits really well because Eduardo is #1 tailor.
What else? Oh, and then speaking of clothes, what did you think about the gown?
No.
The baptism gown. Men don't wear dresses, as Bill said.
No, I was not with that gown at all.
Really?
I was not with that gown at all. I understand. I mean, I've seen, kids and being baptized and they have their white gowns and that type of thing, but something about that was a little too flowy, a little too, I don't know. I was not on that gown.
Were you baptized as a baby?
I was.
What did you wear?
I had a cute little dress on.
Okay.
But I'm a chick.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, I love the fact that it had pants under it. Then I would have taken off all of that other length and just shown the little shorts or whatever.
Oh.
It was just a bit much. And when she said the hat makes it look more masculine, I was like, no.
Well, they have to take it off anyway because they have to wash the baby's head.
True.
And she's like, well, Pasquale wore it. And he's like, oh, that explains a lot.
Everything right there. I was not. You liked the gown? You were a fan of the gown?
I wasn't not a fan of the gown.
Okay.
I appreciated how it was tradition. It was very traditional. It was Italian, and they were doing, what the family had done over and over previously. So I liked that about it. The fact that they, continued that despite the fact that they were in America and Chicago and bringing these two cultures together. Would I do it? I don't know.
Okay.
Like I say, okay, maybe, but looking at it, I'm like, well, maybe not. I don't know. My mom actually told me that if I don't baptize my kids, that she would do it behind my back.
Oh, yes.
So
I would believe that. I mean, I haven't met your mother, but I wouldn't even play with my mom like that.
Yeah. So I think, actually, you know what? In that case, I'd probably just let my mom pick it out.
Oh, there you go.
So, Giuliana's pretty much doing the same thing.
That's true. But would you have, talked to your husband about what your child was going to wear to baptism before literally?
I wouldn't talk to my husband about what my child's going to wear anytime. I don't think, come on.
I just felt like they sprung it on him and right at the last minute. It was like,
no, they didn't.
3 DePandies against 1 Ransack.
Come on now.
Really? I was like,
don't get me wrong. I love Giuliana and Bill. I love the show more than anything. But let's be real. How many times do we feel like they're acting or like they set up a scenario?
well, true. 100%.
Like more than the average reality show.
More than the average.
And here's another thing that I want to ask you guys that are either, watching live, watching YouTube, or listening to iTunes. Has anybody ever seen Giuliana and Bill fight on this show?
I thought the same thing when I was watching.
Never.
Never been an argument. Well, they had that one moment when they were with the house or whatever, and Giuliana said something to Bill, and he was like, you think I want to buy a house in LA? That's the most heated we've ever seen from this couple.
But then they figured it out on their own,
Right.
And I really do love seeing them talk things out. And I love seeing their support system. But you can't tell me that they don't fight.
Yeah, let's see some heat.
And I really wish that we could see them fight. If there's going to be another season of Giuliana and Bill, we need to see a fight.
At least one. It doesn't have to be like every show. We're not asking for that type of show.
Right. I don't want drama at all. I just want to see, because they always talk about how they're this couple that works so well together. And I love them as a couple.
Right.
I really do. And I don't doubt that at all. I think Bill is an incredible man. I think Giuliana is a very strong woman.
True.
But I would just love to see some normalcy and just, a little bit more relatability that, yes, they're real. They're a real couple. They work through problems and, not just tragedy and not just, things that they can fix. Like, I want to see...
Yeah, the other side.
Right.
The other thing we never see from them, and maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but normally when you have a couple on a show, they always have that scene where they're in the bed and they're talking or whatever. And I don't recall ever seeing many of those type of scenes with them either.
We don't really. Every now and then we'll see them maybe play on the bed or imply things or... You're right, yeah. I think towards the beginning we saw a little bit of that in the first couple of seasons, but you're right. We don't really see regular moments. Like we never, I guess we see them at our PM meeting, but we never really see a casual dinner. Like how does dinner happen? Right. Yes, we know that Giuliana likes to get sushi, but...
and eat it on the couch.
Just regular everyday moments. And so...
These are our notes.
Yeah,
our notes.
Just our notes.
Our Style Network. Here's our notes, AfterBuzz notes for next season.
Another thing that I really find a little funny is that you know, being in the hosting world, I do a lot of my own shooting and editing and that kind of a thing.
Right.
And I think it's funny because every single episode, I recognize the songs from either iMovie or Final Cut.
Do you really?
Yeah, they're all like the royalty-free on the software songs. They're not like they go on the website or they find an artist. Like they're all just like the built-in.
Well, that's budget, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I never noticed that. I think that's great.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, I used this for a Halloween video last week. Or like, but I should try that one for my next makeup video. By the way, youtube.com/sprintingstilettos.tv if you're wondering.
Check it out.
Yeah, back to the baptism. After our little rant, at least it was Giuliana and Bill related,
It's
right?
true.
So they had the baptism, which is beautiful. We'd been discussing previously who the godparents were going to be.
Right.
And we were right with the Karen.
Yeah, we
Karen
called it.
was the godmother. Weren't expecting the godfather, but Giuliana mentioned that Eduardo, for the mother's father to be the godmother, is
Right.
tradition in Italy, which I thought was great. That was so cute. You
Yeah.
Eduardo doesn't speak as much as, say, Mama DePanny. Mama DePanny gets most of the spotlight,
Right.
but he's such a cute little man.
He's so adorable. I really love him. It's just the smile and just, you know, him sitting next to Mama DePandy. They just seem like not the perfect, but a great
Funny little couple.
Yeah, a great couple. They complement each other really well. You know, he smiles when she talks.
Maybe they'll have a Mama and Eduardo next.
Love it.
Anyone want to see a Mama and Eduardo?
I would, if not an entire season, at least a nice little special.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Style, we're just giving them out left and right here tonight.
Call me. Call us.
That's great. Yeah, special with them.
I also thought it was great that Bill did acknowledge his dad, Edward, and the fact that they did name Duke after Edward and Eduardo,
Right.
which, I mean, how much better could that have worked out?
Yeah, it's important to include his father, even though his father's not there, but his father is so much there. It was just so important to include him and, you know, make sure everyone knows our son is named after two great men. I thought it was just a great moment.
I loved it.
Yeah, he
So
teared up a little.
precious.
Yeah.
And then they changed Duke into the little suit later
Thank you.
for when he went out in public.
Thank you very
Marissa, would you ever
much.
put your son in a dress? Future son, hypothetically?
Marissa's gone. I jumped in. It's Martin.
Oh, hey, Martin, what's
Mark,
up?
even
And no,
better.
I wouldn't.
Thank you very much.
Not even out of tradition?
No, I got baptized in like a little white suit, not a dress. But I'm not
Okay.
Italian, so.
Do it, Martin. That's what I'm saying.
I think the suit would
The suit
probably
would have
be
been
the way to
great.
go.
Yeah.
You know?
It was just too. It was too long. It was too much. It was no. And then the
Aren't
hat-
they usually wrapped up though anyway?
It's true. It's 100%. Because I said the same thing. I was like, okay, at least they're going to cover this kid up with this blue blanket as they're walking into church, that kind of thing. But
Right.
even still, it was just too much. I was not a fan. No offense.
Well, one thing that I did really enjoy was seeing Duke's crib. That thing was to the T perfection.
That was top notch.
Beyond.
That was
And it
top-notch.
was done in time. A couple of things. So housewarming, the furniture was delayed. Lonnie broke her foot.
Right.
That whole scene with Sarah and Lonnie to me seemed a little played out. And with Giuliana being such a perfectionist and with Sarah being the perfect scheduler, why would you schedule a housewarming before you even know if your house is going to be finished? Like, was that a real problem?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think things are going so well for this couple that the producers feel as if we got to add a little bit.
It's like, come on, guys, you're too perfect.
Yeah.
You're too happy.
Things are going too smooth for you. Can we just throw something in? So that's the something. So no, I don't think the housewarming invitations were already gone out. I don't think that.
Well, and also when you think about it, we've only known Duke for now. He was the middle of 2.5 episodes ago is when
Right.
we met Duke. And they were on maternity leave for 4 months.
Right.
So it's interesting that they put 4 months into 2.5 episodes. And yet this is the 9th episode of the season.
Right.
So, and, you know, it hasn't, well, I guess 9 months have gone by since they were pregnant,
True.
but still.
Yeah.
It's a little rushed for me.
A little, yeah.
And it's interesting how in every episode, it's always kind of the same pattern of them talking about what they did in the last episode, what they're going to do in this episode, and then they talk about actually doing what they did in the episode, and then they talk about how it went. You know, there's a lot of repetition. And again, I'm addicted to the show. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying. So with the housewarming, you know, the house has been a process.
Total.
Long process.
Long.
We didn't even think that they were going to buy a house that we thought they were going to keep renting. They buy a new house, and it's perfection, which Bill joked around, well, that means we're going to move soon.
I loved it.
Once they're settled, which is so true. What did you think of Lonnie's little fib to Sarah about her broken foot?
Yeah, I was listening. I was like, you were doing what? And broke your foot? I didn't buy it for 2 seconds, but Lonnie's really pretty. And I was like, oh, she's telling the story really well. I feel bad for her.
I thought she was telling the truth.
Really? I was like, something doesn't sound right at all.
Maybe I just think she's so pretty that I believe whatever she says.
Maybe I was a little mesmerized myself too. I was like, something just doesn't sound right, but she's really pretty with this blonde hair. I'll go with it.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm glad you bought that, but that didn't work.
Well, for a second, I thought that the whole thing was going to be a prank.
Oh, the furniture and everything?
No, like the crutches and the boot. Like she hadn't actually broken her foot, and she was just joking for one more thing to go wrong with the moving.
Oh, wow.
So when she didn't take her boot off, I'm like, oh, wait, you just actually fell down the stairs and did something.
Right. But she was moving in that boot. When that furniture got there, she was getting around.
For sure. And let's talk about the actual house. Gorgeous.
It was just amazing.
Loved it.
What was your favorite room?
Well, I loved Duke's room, but one thing that I really do love, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Marky Costello. Her boyfriend is an artist, and he actually painted the smiley face painting.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you noticed that, but that's one of my favorite paintings in the entire world, and so that was my favorite piece of art in their whole house.
Oh, wow.
The yellow smiley face. When I have a wall that's big enough, I want to be able to get either that one or there's one that's cut in half that I really like.
Okay.
And then I love Duke's room because they had their apartment. I think it was like long ago apartment. I think it might have been Giuliana's LA apartment or LA condo, where they did the squid painting in the living room. They had like their whole thing redone, and that was one of the things that they brought into it. So I liked how they brought their little piece of their old house into Duke's room. It's not necessarily the most baby-friendly room, but I mean, G's too chic for that.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
It was really, really gorgeous.
And that crib. Talk about that crib.
That crib was amazing. And I love the fact that she threw in, it was from her Petite Nest line that she has with Tiffany.
Yeah.
And Tiffany Thiessen. I was going to throw the Amber thing, but that doesn't work on it. So Tiffany Thiessen. So it's a great piece. I love the monogram on the front of it. It was beautiful. Just gorgeous.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's the first of its kind, and they're calling it the Duke.
Of course.
So anybody can buy it now.
Yeah. I wonder how much it costs.
I wonder if it comes in pink.
Interesting.
I'm just wondering.
That's a good one. Or maybe they name it something else if it's in pink.
The Duchess?
There you go. My favorite room, I love Duke's room, but I think my favorite part of the house was really the outdoors area.
Oh, I did, with the dining room table, and they have this little couch section.
It made it feel so homey, and we're in LA, so the weather's great normally, most of the time. So you just want to go outside. You want to come in your house and go straight outside to relax. And it wasn't as if there was like this wicker furniture or things that people have outside. It was this comfortable couch, and it was so gorgeous.
For sure.
And Bill's new grill, come on. That was how
that grill was gigantic.
So he didn't do it.
He was working it on that grill too.
It's every man's DNA to work a grill.
Did you like how he sent his little nephew with the hot dogs? And then Lisa Gibbons like, did Bill send you? Tell him I'm not eating until he brings out a filet mignon or something, or steak.
I loved her. I think she's fantastic, and I like the two of them together.
Oh, and of course, can't forget closet. Hello.
Yes. The closet's amazing. The closet is amazing. But once you see the rest of the house, I would almost say the master suite.
In general,
it's just amazing. I mean, the bathroom that's probably...
Did we see anybody use that toilet? No. I would have loved to have seen a little tipsy Lisa Gibbons. Oh my gosh, look at this toilet.
She'd still be in there trying to figure out how to use that thing. I can warm
it's touchscreen.
I can, yeah. No,
man.
No one used the toilet.
Did we miss anything?
I think we covered it.
How about a little news and gossip, shall we?
Please.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, I think, we never really have news and gossip because Bill and Giuliana are real.
And we know what's going on.
And for the most part, these scenarios are real. you know, we talked a little bit about our feelings. Right. A lot of it about our feelings. But I did talk to Sarah Knight, Giuliana's assistant, this week. She and I are DG sisters, and we used to work together at E. And she was supposed to come in tonight. Unfortunately, she was working a little late. But a little interesting little thing in our email is she said, you know, I'd love to come to AfterBuzz if there's another season of Giuliana and Bill. So the next season's kind of up in the air, I think. Nothing has been confirmed.
Right.
Who knows if it has to do with the network, or it could be Giuliana and Bill have expressed that they don't know if they want to have Duke on television.
I'm not surprised, honestly. I think having a baby changes every couple, but in particular this couple, their lives are so busy. They're back and forth between LA and Chicago. If they decided they want to settle down in Chicago, I wouldn't be surprised if what we saw was kind of it. They're just moving on to a different chapter in their life.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, let's talk about predictions then. This is the season finale. There is not another episode that we're aware of.
If you know of one, let us know.
If you know of one, let us know. There was some speculation by our producer beforehand.
It's true.
So at the end of the episode, Giuliana and Bill discuss having another child, and Bill says no, not until we move to Chicago. Giuliana says, well, we might move to Chicago sooner than we think. What do you think?
Dun, 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 dun. I loved how Bill laid down the law. The deal was more kids in Chicago. I think they're going to make the move faster.
Do you?
I do. I think maybe in the last year or so of Giuliana's contract, she's going to work out something with E! News. You know, before when she was on E! News, she was always in LA, and then she started doing the splits where she was in LA sometimes, she was in Chicago. You know, they found a way to do it on location. I think the last year or so, we'll see her splitting and, you know, doing more in Chicago, and then we'll see what happens.
Maybe, baby.
Maybe. Either way.
What would she do?
So much.
You don't think she'd give up hosting?
No, I think she would find a way to do it. You know, as we said before, there's tons of things she could do. I mean, she has.
But I mean, in terms, you know, she mentioned, you know, I don't want to go back to work, and I was dreading going back to work. You don't think she would just do the mommy thing?
I think she would still do the mommy thing in conjunction with the clothing line, still write books. And who knows, maybe she would do a local Chicago show since they love Chicago so much. Possibly she would take over Harpo Studios. I mean, you know, anything's possible. Maybe she'll start doing a radio show in Chicago. I think she'll still find a way to be on the airwaves, but I do think it would be in a different capacity.
Interesting. Yeah. We'll have to see. And I'm getting a tweet. It looks like there is a director's cut season watch. Thank you, Adrian, for that.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be coming back to recap that since we've pretty much recapped the entire season. But if you do want us to come back, maybe we'll try to make arrangements. For that. We'll see.
Down for it.
All right. Well, everyone, have a great night. Where can we find you, Tara?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ Path to Passion. It has been my pleasure to be with you this season. And you too.
You too, I know. We will definitely be back together again for something, I'm certain.
Absolutely.
Thank you everyone so much for joining us. Make sure that you check out Amazon.com via AfterBuzz TV. Make sure you go to iTunes, rate us if you want to see another season, if there's going to be another season. Hopefully 5 stars. A lot of you have been giving us some great ratings, great feedback. We appreciate that. So thanks for a great season. If you love me, stick around because I will be back at 9 p.m. PST to cover Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition. I'm Giselle Ugarte. You can find me on Twitter at Giselle Ugarte, and I will see you very, very soon. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.